I wouldn't say so.
Fleet footwork on the Gnar, potentially, rather than Grasp. Is that just to keep him healthier than the Gangplank, possibly?
Yeah, very possibly. I mean, you see the Gangplank with the Grasp of the Undying as well, so it's going to be just
Yeah.
mainly poke in that lane.
Mm.
Um, Also gives Falio a little bit more movement speed, a little bit more chase down potential if he does want to go aggressive onto Mario.
We do see the Hail of Blades on the Cogmore, which with the Braum passive, the Concussive Blows, does make a lot more sense than, for instance,
Hmm.
Lethal Tempo, which takes that bit of time to activate up. So I do like that rune being taken there.
Yeah, I agree. I also like the cleanse, a lot of CC on the side of Regem, so it
Yeah.
will just enable Helman to be that little bit more slippery.
And with the comp that he has, I don't think heal is particularly necessary.
Mm.
You've got the shielding and the
Well,
beefiness
you
that
have the you
comes
have
with.
the literal shielding from
Yeah,
Braum, and then the
yeah,
shielding from Karma.
exactly. Yes. So jungler's going to start on opposite sides, interestingly enough. So we may have very little jungler interaction potentially.
But I think this just signifies what both junglers want to do. Johnson wanting to play around his bot lane, try and get this Cogmore ahead, make sure or at least make sure Cogmore can get into the mid game even.
Yeah.
Whereas Sammy is going to want to play around both of his melee solo laners, using that
Sure.
Sejuani passive.
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes a lot of sense.
Oh, we might see a level 1 here from Invul. Mama going to land the Winter's Bite. Concussive Blow Stun going to come down onto Blaffer, taking about
And
half of that HP.
yeah, it's why Hail of Blades is so lovely in this lane particularly.
We can see in the mid lane as well already, Loftition really winning out on the poke war against Veronica.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not expecting too much early action.
A lot of these laners don't really want to do too much
No.
interacting for the first couple of levels for sure.
I mean, yeah, Cogmore wants to get XP under his belt. Gangplank wants to get XP under his belt. And then I don't think Akali can really fight into Karma in those early levels.
Definitely not in those early levels for sure. I think realistically has to be at level 6 before can really start thinking about the perfect execution on Loftition there.
We see the pings coming down, actually, and that's a really nice ward from Invul over into the Raptor pit, just enabling him to get a bit of vision on Sammy, so they know where the jungler is, they know what his path has been, and it's just having that little bit extra to work with. Cheetah Recall coming in from Mario in the top lane, though. What's he going to be able to grab with that? Maybe a Cull?
Potentially?
No,
Dawn's
not
playing?
just a Ruby Crystal.
Interesting.
And a Control Ward.
Yeah, I mean, Ruby Crystal gives essentially the same amount of sustain when you think about it. Like, it gives a lot of sustain just having that
Wait,
extra health.
I like this roam. Marmo's moved up from the bot lane. He knows Hellman's safe because he was on a reset to get his Cull. Moves up, makes sure that Johnson can secure this topside scuttle.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have mid lane prio, so they might be able to look for the bot side scuttle as well.
Potentially, Sammy has been seen on a ward as well on the Raptors.
Yeah, so Johnson free to cross
now.
through the mid lane now. Blaffer gonna start roaming up though.
Yeah.
This is just standard from Falio.
Timed. Yeah, very well timed Scryer's ward there. Found exactly where Jonsson was on that. And will allow Sammy to get this scuttle, bot scuttle, uncontested.
Yeah, gonna mean that Invul are gonna have to let that one go. But I don't think they'll be too upset with it. Their Cogmore is scaling. Their Gnar has a decent amount of pressure in the top lane, and Loftition is keeping Veronica pretty chunked out in the mid lane.
Yeah. Now the only thing is though
Ooh,
the mana for Loftition
has those biscuits though.
Does have the biscuits, which might be enough to suffice before she can get her next. Sorry, before Loftition can get his next back off. Oh.
And Dragon just about to spawn literally now.
Yeah.
Sammy hasn't got a reset off yet.
No.
Is that something
Veronica.
we'd expect Invul to look to exploit, as Sammy and Veronica both reset together?
Yeah, but the TP coming in from Veronica. So we'll be there already. And Loftitian, on the other hand, will be backing now.
But
Interesting back timing, considering the dragon.
teleport also available for Loftitian. Sammy is on a reset, so I don't know whether Invul will have seen that Sammy was on a reset for this, but still able to pick up the dragon pretty cleanly as well. Full vision of the area for Regem, actually.
Yeah.
So,
I was just going to say, I'm surprised because they had seen relatively early on through the scuttle vision.
yeah, opting out of the contest.
It is only a cloud dragon, which is potentially the weakest first dragon to get. So potentially they were just thinking, we don't want to lose anything for a potential.
But I don't even know what you would lose in a fight. You have a Sheen Ezreal versus a Cull Cogmore.
Yeah, I guess. Potentially interesting decision there from Regem to not go for anything there.
Looking for a top lane invade instead with Sammy. Pressure in the favor of Mario and Regem, but Johnson already in the area, so just able to completely dissuade that.
Loftitian doesn't have a ward in that top bush in mid, but nothing's going to come of Sammy playing around that area.
Yeah, CS lead's starting to open up actually pretty drastically in this mid lane. Loftitian falling nearly 15 CS behind.
It is a very hard lane to CS into, though. I think Akali has a lot of pressure, particularly in the early game, where she can CS very freely with her Q. Whereas Loftitian, with mana problems, doesn't have that free reign to just spam abilities.
Mama once again roaming up into this top side, looking to help his team play around and potentially secure this Rift Herald. Shadowing Loftitian, just keeping him safe, meaning that if Veronica goes in, it's going to be a 2v1 and it's not going to be that clean, quick execution that the Akali might be looking for. Sammy on this bot side, Herald spawning in about 25 seconds. So, going to be needing to get a move on if he wants to look for it. Otherwise, could look for something in the bot lane on towards Hellman.
Something I do quite like, though, is the amount the supports are roaming has given a lot of experience to both Hellman
Oh, we
and
might see a fight here in the bot
Fuko.
lane. Sammy and Blaffer moving down. The Glacial Prison is available. It's going to be flashed away from Mama. Glacial Prison connects with the dash. Cannon Barrage coming down as well. The True Drop Barrage goes through, but it's not going to connect. Blaffer going to pick that one up with, I believe, an Ignite. First Blood for Regem going over to the Nautilus.
And it's first blood, it's great, but at the same time, it's gone to it's gone to the champion who doesn't want.
Oh, but
the
now
first
Falio
blood.
and Johnsony looking to answer in the top side. Mario slammed into the wall. Falio and Johnsony going to dive under the turret. The Crescent Guard coming through. Falio tanking up one last turret shot. Perfectly juggled aggro. Tanking up exactly as much as he could. And that's going to be the kill answered back for Invul. Going on to the jungler. Hellman now charging down Hufo. It's a lot of damage. The Abyssal, the artillery coming through, and Hufo having to arcane shift himself away.
Well, that's happening. Mr. Blaffer and Sammy have just been taking all of the Invul jungle in the bot side there.
Yeah, but it's a kill onto Johnsony, so I don't know too much who's going to win out on that. Gold lead only 200 for Regem.
Yeah. The solitary small raptor being left. Bit of a kind of token appreciation. That when Johnsony will find that later on.
Oh, and Sammy looking back down towards this bot lane again. He knows that there's no sums on Mama. Hex flash forward from Blaffer, and the dredge line is going to connect. Arctic Assault forward, and Mama is not long for this world. Sammy going to pick that one up. Hufo getting denied yet another kill.
Yeah, but again, at least it's not on the Nautilus this time. It does mean Rift Herald will be taken very easily by Johnsony now, and potentially going to use that in his next, after his next gank. Dragon is coming up in just under 50 seconds now, so Johnsony should look to back and utilize this Rift Herald to pressurize around the Drake area.
I have to ask, though. With plays like that, giving up a Rift Herald for only and only getting 1 kill in return, that could prove to be pretty costly later on down the line, depending on what kind of value Johnson can get with that Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, it's potentially about 3 plates worth, which is definitely more than a single kill. Now, both teams look to be putting a lot of pressure on this dragon now. Sammy and Blathor are just going to stick around as it spawns.
Yeah, Regem not wanting to give the early dragon stacking advantage over to Invul here.
Yeah. Now, Vlad does not have TP. Falio does.
Is working his way up, and it's 2 separate 2v2s, Mama and Hellman versus Blathor and Hufo in the bot lane, and then the mid-jungle duo's gonna go at each other as well. Not really too much going to come out of it. Mama, the only one really taking meaningful damage. But as you mentioned, Falio does have the teleport. Roaming down into the topside river, and the teleport is going to be channeled. This is going to stack up the Gnar Rage. I don't know how much I like this from Mario, as Falio now nearing his transformation. Going to enable Invul to secure the dragon with the threat of that Mega Gnar. Just proving a little bit too much.
Yeah. I think it's the thing with Gangplank, unless he has that initial barrel setup, he cannot do anything against a TP. There is no way for him.
We could see a 3v3 though in the bot lane. Both junglers are here, both Sammy and Yonsei. I don't think Regem know that Yonsei's here. The Cannon Barrage is going to come down, and it's a teleport from Loftition. Both mid laners going to channel their teleport. Sammy falling to Hellman, and the kills are falling in the right place. Double kill for the Kog'Maw with the Bio Arcane Barrage. Veronica not able to get into the fight quickly enough. And
Rift Herald surely should be dropped here.
You might even imagine first turret to fall here.
Yeah. Interesting.
No Herald popped yet, actually.
No.
Maybe gonna do it on this next wave.
Potentially. Oh, yeah, it is being dropped now, and we should see this turret going down.
Lot of gold going to be funneled into Hellman's Kog'Maw here. This is a really, really big play for Invul, and this is what I was talking about with trading that Rift Herald off for 1 kill. How much value are you going to then lose in return for losing that Rift Herald?
Yeah, I mean, just think how much gold this Kog'Maw has now.
Well, let's have a look.
106 CS advantage.
5,000 gold in the back pocket of Hellman right now. Easily the highest gold in the game. But we're going to see another 2v2. Blathor going to get caught out by the Winter's Bite. The concussive blows stacked up as the depth charge comes through. Going to keep Blathor alive. Yonsei, though, now in the area. Blathor and Hufo unaware of this as Yonsei, Wind Becomes Lightning, dashing forward onto the Nautilus. Knockup's going to come through. And it's going to be another kill gifted over to the Kog'Maw. The Glacial Prison goes wide, and Sammy kind of has to back off, but Veronica's here. Yonsei now in the fight. Mama's very low. Gonna fall to the Shuriken. No! The perfect execution doesn't catch the damage, and Mama's gonna get away. And it's just a 1-for-0 in the bot lane.
That was... I'm not sure how that interaction works.
Did the perfect execution come through too early?
I've never seen that.
I don't know how Mama survived there.
I mean, can Akali use her ult during the E animation? So I think what must have happened is that
meanwhile, Falio is just doing Falio things, I guess, at this point. Mario gonna eat an orange and flash himself out, but Falio, this is the kind of thing we've seen from him pretty much on a weekly basis at this point. Blathor and Veronica gonna look for a trade here, though. Loftition in danger. Flashes away from the dredge line.
Has to flash there for sure.
But yeah, this is the kind of thing we just see from Falio every week.
Now, turret platings have gone down. I think significant advantages for Invul overall with those turret platings.
Oh yeah, 2,500 gold currently the advantage. Yonsei now looking to dive onto Hufo. And I don't think this Ezreal has too many places to go. True Shot Barrage comes through to clear out the wave. But it's too little too late. A Cannon Barrage as well. But Hellman picking up his 4th kill of the game. Has the Wit's End already completed. As well as the Berserker's Greaves.
This will be full First Blood turret going on to Hellman alone.
Yeah, this Kog'Maw
really
is
as well.
Massive.
Definitely.
Infernal Soul on the Rift as well. Next dragon spawning in just over a minute. So Invul definitely going to be looking for that one.
Yeah. Oh.
Is this tank Cogmore actually that we're seeing from Hellman here with the Wits End Rush?
Potentially, but I don't think it will be overall, because you think with the Wits End you're denying a lot of damage from the Akali. I think most of the damage that Sejuani outputs.
It's actually a very smart first item. I really quite like.
Yeah. Ezreal also does mixed damage. I think the only person on Regem who deals pretty much just physical damage is the Gangplank, who doesn't really interact that much. And
yeah,
I think Cannon Barrage is magic damage as well.
I believe so, yeah. I mean, and like you say, Hellman won't be interacting with Mario for a good few minutes more still, you wouldn't imagine.
So yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
really.
no, very, very smart pickup. And Mario getting dove on again here by Falio. Falio having his way with the Gangplank in the top lane.
Yeah. Rift Herald is up. Dragon is spawning in just under 5 seconds now.
Yep, both junglers on this top side, though.
Yeah.
And we might see Regem rush towards the dragon here. Invul committed to the Rift Herald. So it's leaving themselves a little bit exposed. But that is now secured, and the dragon hasn't been started. Jonsson now with the time, and mid-pressure in the favor of Invul as well. Regem not really in position to rush this dragon down, although Mario is moving from the top side. Rather than uses his teleport a little bit early, wanting to prematurely get to the fight to set up those barrels like you mentioned. Teleport now going to be channeled from Falio as he is Mega Gnar.
That's a lovely
It's coming in such a beautiful position. Mega Gnar only catches one, but the Glacial Prison going to lock down Falio. 5th kill of the game for Hellman as Veronica goes in, but the concussive blows and the Glacial Fissure are going to keep you in place. Double kill for Hellman on the fight. Can Falio find any more? Chasing on to Mario, the boomerangs, the slows, the hyper procs. He's looking for whatever he can. It's Dragon picked up by Invul. No further kills to follow. 2-0 plus the objective. Invul going to be very happy about that one.
Yeah, 6-0 Cogmore. I just want to say 17 minutes gone, and this Cogmore Hellman just proving utter hell, man, for Regem.
Oh my god.
Come on, it's had to.
I know, it was right there, but yeah, definitely a bit of a rough one for Regem to have to deal with going forward. On a spike, has his Runon's Hurricane as well now already.
I love Runan's with the Wits End passive as well. It's just so much attack speed, movement speed, and on-hit magic damage, which is brutal.
We see Moonstone Renewer.
Well.
Moonstone Renewer completed for Loftition in the mid lane.
Yeah, and it's so useful on the Karma. You're just able to use it so well. I think it'll be Chemtech Putrifier, sorry. The next one being bought as well for Karma eventually.
It is very possible as well that since the Shurelya's nerfs, that Moonstone is now the best item for a Karma.
I think it is, realistically. Shurelya's, it's good on her, but she already has Shurelya's in Mantrid Inspire, I think it is.
You can give so much extra movement.
Yeah, but I think Moonstone is so powerful, particularly when you've got a Cogmore.
Yeah, I agree.
You just want to be making sure the Cogmore is always at 100% health with an extra 80 shield as well.
Yeah, this is the thing. And now Sammy gonna eat a Winter's Bite. Not really any damage gonna come through onto either Mama or Sammy. Too much tankiness in those members. But this just shows the pressure that Invul have over this game right now. Sammy can't walk into his own jungle uncontested at this point.
Yeah. And you're just looking at the Akali. Who can he assassinate now?
Yeah, well...
just no real damage.
Mama and Hellman contesting the red buff even. They have a stranglehold on Regem, and they are not wanting to let go. Ufo going to get tagged by the Wind Becomes Lightning. Arcane shifting away, getting himself away from the Xin Zhao. But
and this is really important. The vision being denied for a Baron spawning in just under 15 seconds now.
But this
Veronica
is
does have in the bot lane.
This is this is just Invul choking the life out of Regem. They've taken the towers, they've given themselves the ability to walk forward, and Regem just don't seem to be able to respond.
And it's very difficult, but with no outer turrets, you suddenly have way less pressure on the map. And particularly in the mid lane where the inner turret has already been taken, there's so many routes and avenues that you just cannot do. You cannot take because you don't have the vision in those anymore. And it's so much harder to just walk through the map without those turrets.
When we even see Falio just taking the Krogs away because he can. Regem trying to move 5 people up towards this top side, looking to shut the Nard down, does have the flash available, will have the Mega Nard when it transforms, dodging away from the Sejuani, flashing away from the dredge line. Glacial Prison going to connect, but is it too little too late? Valio now under his tower, Mario going to look for the dive, but no, can't quite finish it. And we see Regem committing 5 people into this top lane, and they're still not able to find Falio.
And it's so difficult though. Gnar has a wealth of movement with his jump.
And Hellman can just walk at Hufo. There's so little that Regem can really offer in terms of resistance this game. Invul going to be able to claim an inhib tower here off of that 5-man force onto Falio.
What's more surprising for me is that 4v2 in the top lane, Regem were being walked backwards. 4v2. That's really scary when you think about how much pressure Invul have.
Infernal Dragon in 30 seconds. This will be the soul for Invul. And you would imagine that this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
You've got a Cogmore with it, Infernal Soul potentially.
At 22 minutes.
Very scary, for sure.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 item Cogmore that's going to have an Infernal Soul, because Regem don't seem to want to contest this at 22 minutes. No, and again, they're going to look for Falio.
You kind of think surely at this point you should have positioned towards Baron and forced
Very possibly.
Baron.
But I still think Invul take that trade. I think Invul would prefer the Infernal Soul over the temporary Baron buff. Having the permanent Infernal Soul.
But Regem just sitting and doing nothing, where they could have at the very least positioned themselves towards Baron and forced the Baron at the very least. They have done nothing with that. They've just given up Soul, and now they can't even get Baron.
But then again,
they just have to give up Baron because.
But then again, if you do commit enough around Baron, Invul can just leave Johnsony on the Dragon on his own and rotate everyone else into the Baron pit to potentially look for the 4v5 fight. And with the state of the lead and with how strong Hellman's Cogmore is right now, I would not bet against Invul winning that fight.
True, but you'd at least be forcing Invul's hands at least a little bit. Just something. Regem just are very happy to sit back and do nothing.
But it's like we discussed before the game even got underway. It's not like you can even argue that Regem severely outscale because there's a Cogmore on the other side.
Yeah. It's it just seems like Regem are kind of resigning themselves to not having any, just basically
more the fact I think that it's almost the fact that they've just come out and been completely stunned by this early game.
Yeah.
The two early fights that we saw fall into Invul's favor, where all the kills fell onto Hellman, seems to have stunned Regem to a point where they don't know what to do. They don't know how to react.
Yeah. And it was the fact that the 2 kills bot lane did not go onto either of the carries. It went on to the Nautilus and the Sejuani.
Yeah.
It didn't go to Hufo, didn't go to Veronica, and they've just not been allowed into this game at all.
Yeah, I mean, it must be quite frustrating, honestly, on the side of Regem, because I'm not even sure what you should do in this position as Regem to start getting yourselves back into this game. I mean, the default thing, I guess, is trying to look for trades cross-map, but when there's only one objective up on the map, how can you do that? Hellman going to flash over the wall and pick up another kill with that Bio-Arcane Barrage, going forward onto Hufo. Falio in the fight, the living artillery going to drop, but Falio going to pick up the kill. Baron is also secured by Johnsony, meanwhile, and Blaffer now being chased down. Falio with a double kill following the flash forward from Mama. Mario Vlad going to look to trade back, but Falio's diving into the base. He wants this kill on the gangplank. The Gnar into the wall.
Getting one.
Veronica looking for Marmot on the backside, but Hellman's Cogmore just does way too much damage. Johnsony going to join Falio. It's an ace. It's a Baron. And it's likely the base as well for Invul.
I mean, this was, I think, the most clinical game I have seen in a while. There was no space for... there was just no space to breathe at all for Regem. They had nothing that they could do from about minute 5, realistically. It started okay.
Blaffer going to fall again as Johnsony goes in. Hellman cleansing, running forward, looking for more kills. The Cogmore is still hungry. That unsatiable hunger from the Void shall never stop. And this should be Invul picking up game 1 of this series in very dominant and commanding fashion.
That Cogmore is
Oh no, Veronica going to dive forward onto Hellman, but look at how little damage the Cogmore takes. Nexus is going to fall. 25:57 on the clock. And Invul take the first game of the series.